A guardianship in the context of a child has to do with if something happens to mom and dad, who takes care of my children? And I've actually spoken to moms groups and explained this at length, and this is the biggest reason most young people even think about doing an estate plan, even when they don't have a lot of money, and is another main reason why a young family should do an estate plan. So within the context of the will, mom and dad actually decide who they would like to appoint as the guardian of the children in the event that they die. And the purpose of doing this, of doing a will and putting the guardianship appointment in there, is that mom and dad actually get to pick where they would like their children to go. The good news is, if something as tragic as the death of a young couple takes place, car accident, plane accident, whatever, it's nice to know that at least you've determined which people the court will give legal authority to raise your children. Without a will, it's left wide open. Family members can fight, and it ultimately is a decision that's going to be made by a judge. And the real question is, do you want a stranger that doesn't know you at all making the decision about who raises your children if you're not there to do it? The other big issue when we talk about guardianship, because mom and dad are deceased, is, it's one of the things, again, that I think a lot of attorneys are missing the boat in, that they don't do enough estate planning to realize this. If mom and dad pass away and they've done a will, the guardianship appointment is in the will. But if mom or dad dies and the other one is disabled but still alive, the guardianship appointment exists in their will, and the will isn't legally effective yet because they haven't died. So technically the kids are in this never-never land of who's going to take over. If it's a situation where there's a car accident, dad dies, mom is in a serious, condition, and this goes on for months and months and months, but the doctors think mom could recover eventually, who is the guardian of the children? So we actually use an additional form in my office to make sure that in the event of a disability, but not a death, that there is still a guardianship appointment done for the children. And this is one of the gaping holes in many young couples' estate plans, and unfortunately, they don't even know that that hole exists until something really terrible happens. So hopefully it won't happen, but if it does, again, it would be a wide open issue because mom and dad don't have the necessary documentation in place to tell the court who they want to appoint. So that's an issue that I talk to all my young clients about and strongly suggest that they do some planning in order to, take care of that issue.